What's up guys, NottheWinner here, and I want to talk to you about my Tanky build. I had a video come out on this recently, and there's tons and tons of comments about ways that I could potentially improve it, make it a little bit better, or try different ideas to make it potentially stronger. And a lot of them revolved around me having a twisted idol. Now, many of the comments were saying, well, the DR can't go above 80%, so why are you like even trying to get your armor this high, etc., right? I hear you. It says from all sources up to a maximum of 80%, right? I have noticed that when my health drops to a certain percent and then this kicks in when I'm below 30%, even though I'm well past the cap, my damage continues to reduce as my damage reduction goes up. So this is something where for right now, it appears that you can pass the 80 cap. There will probably be a point where they update that, in which case we're getting 74.2 from the armor alone. We would only need 6 points in the damage reduction trait to push us into the 80%, and then we could focus our entire build, swapping out Hardening Coil and Amber Moonstone, into things that are going to boost shield. This one, when the wearer's health drops below 25%, you gain a shield for 25% of your max health. Lasts for 10 seconds. Super useful. Restriction Coil is what keeps my health super low but gives me reduced damage. If DR caps at 80% in the future, which currently I know it says it does, but it doesn't seem to. If it caps at 80% in the future, you get to take this one off as well, put it into a shield build. You get to take off Hardened Coil as well, put it into a shield build. All of these rings can come off, and then you got Ring of Crisis. You'd be sitting there, potentially you could run the Stamina Shield ring, which is going to give you it's going to give you 5% shield for every 25 stamina used. And if you're dodging, rolling around, just moving around in the fight, you're going to be getting that stamina used up pretty quickly. So you're going to be getting stacks of shield. That one goes up to 50%. Now, this one gives you gain a 25% shield. So you could get 25% from this. You could already have some from the shield and then stack that together. And then you could even have one where it's like, instead of restriction ring, there's one down here somewhere. Increases, oh wait, no, that's for pickup. There's one for right here, when you use 75% of your current magazine, gain a shield for 10% of max health over 5 seconds. Does not stack with itself, but it does stack with other shield buffs. So you could literally be sitting at 50% from your stamina and then keep firing this and go up to 60% and then get smacked down. And if you get smacked a couple times in a row, go below 25% health and then boom, shield again, right? So you could run a full shield build with this instead, and it would be extremely useful. Right now, while we have this buff, I'm running Twisted Idol, Hardened Coil, Amber Moonstone, so when I do drop below 30%, I get even more resistance and no temporary status effects, and then the Restriction Cord for the extra 10% DR there. Now, it does cut my health to half, but that hasn't been an issue at all, and I'm actually running a Regen type build. I was going to run a lifesteal build, and I noticed, hey, you got to have damage output to do that, and even with summons, I would prefer to run Regen. I got myself Tranquil Heart. Tranquil Heart was a bit of a challenge to get. You had to get, oh, I'm blanking on the name of the other heart first, but basically you have to get an item from Narud, take it to the Nightweaver web, turn it into the Nightweaver web, which that means this can only happen in campaign mode. And then once you've turned it into the Nightweaver web, then you take that heart over to Nimue and trade it to her for the Tranquil Heart. If you notice, this one does not heal you if you use the heart. It gives you 2 health regen per second and doubles all your health regeneration for 15 seconds on use. So I'm getting 2 health regen per second from this. Right now, I'm getting 1.2 from my summoner. When it's maxed out, I'll be getting 1.5. So it'll be 3.5 total. And then you could use the root water for an extra 0.75 per second for 60 minutes. So basically, if you're sitting with the 1.5 from these two, then you're sitting at 4.25 from that. Now, there is a ring that does heal you for it's whenever you're hit by an enemy, you recover. Oh, why am I blanking on it? Whenever you're hit by an enemy, Ring of Grace, you heal 10% of your maximum health over 10 seconds. So for me, at 130 health, that would be 1.3 additional health per second. So instead of being at 4.25, I could be potentially at 5.5 health per second. Another ring that could be a really solid option here is the generating band. I don't have it yet. I need to go snag it myself, but it is when a shield is active, you generate 3 HP per second, so it would really help with the HP regeneration in general. Definitely one that I'm going to be considering in my shield build that I'll have coming up soon. Pretty darn nice, and let's go ahead and show you how this all works with the full tanky setup. Let's go anywhere, and right now I've just been chilling on veteran. You're gonna be able to see it on veteran, and then I'm gonna pop into a slightly higher difficulty and we'll check it out there. So let's go over here, let's go to Geisha, and then where's a good spot to run into a bunch of enemies? Yeah, sorry about the time in between. I've been trying to get that armor necklace, the Twisted Idol, for the past 3.5 days. I could not get it to show up in any shops. So it took me a while to get this build video completed. And yeah, it just kind of worked out that Summoner was leveling along the way while we were doing it. But let's see if we can get a bunch of enemies chasing us and then cause a little ruckus. So as you guys can see, look at my health regenerating. I'm trying to find more enemies than this, because this isn't going to deal enough damage to like actually be a threat. Where are all your friends, bud? Here's a couple more. Hey guys. So look, these guys are all hitting me. My Amber Moonstone hasn't taken even into effect yet, and you're gonna notice that my damage will drop even more when it does. Come on, guys. Come on. You got this, I promise. Trying to get them to deal enough damage to get me below 25%, but they can't do that at the moment. It looks like we'll need some more followers to make that happen. Come on, guys. Oh, hello. Looks like we got some flyers involved now. Hey, here we go, here we go. This should be enough now. Below 25%. It's kind of tough to die. Now, we can go up to a higher difficulty and show off how much their increased damage is going to make a difference here. Oh. I thought they were about to do it. And some of my regen over time is running out in 99 seconds, so that does make a difference here. Okay, so they brought my shield on, and then I immediately healed up past the shield and past the regen point. So it's basically like I can't die. It's pretty ideal. I'm going to go ahead and Liquid Death. Let's go Nightmare. All right. Cool. And we start at Marrow Pash, so we can pull tons of mobs. Now I am going to reactivate that bonus regen for the hour. Okay. And guys, just so you guys know, the weapons I'm using, I got the Nightfall gun. It does have an amazing infinite ammo move, which is insane. And I'm using Refunder plus 10 on it, so there's always ammo going back in. And then the Enigma, which is insanely overpowered in my opinion. Definitely going to get some nerfs, but it automatically returns with Bandit, automatically returning the ammo spent directly into the gun's clip. And you just keep firing it. It's just got so much good, like, if you run into like 30 mobs, it's so good for clearing. And then Dreamcatch is just on because I was using it for certain quests. I don't really use the melee weapons right now, so I'm not even leveling them. I will make pure melee builds at some point, but the issue is so many bosses in this one can't really be done with a melee build. So depending on your RNG, it's just going to change a lot. Okay, so these guys deal way more damage than the previous difficulty. They pushed me into that, but look at how much, like, they're barely breaking the shield. Come on. Shield comes up every time my health goes above 25%, so I'm going to constantly be getting that back. And then the actual, let's run a few more mobs to get some more damage off. And then the actual Akari Warband lowering the damage I'm taking while I'm below 30%. It's like, okay, so I take less damage, then I get a shield, and then I take less damage on that shield. Okay, all of these now should be enough if you count all the previous. Come on. Come on. But yeah, look at how little I'm taking. And if you wanted to clear the wave, all you'd have to do is pull out your Enigma and just hold it down for a few seconds. Kind of nutty, guys. So, like I said, once they fix DR, or if this is DR at its final point, then we're in a really good spot. But look, the Enigma pushes them all off, and then you just hold it down, clears the whole wave. And as you guys can see, this is the 3rd difficulty, so if you're killing them this fast on this difficulty, you're gonna have a good time. You know what I mean? Absolutely melts them. They can't hurt you. It's pretty beefy. I love the Enigma. I love running full Leto. I'm running at 310.5 armor for 74.2% off of just that, and 111% with the hardened coil, and then it goes up an additional 25% from this one to 136%. In my opinion, insanely beefy, insanely useful. Definitely one of those sets that you're going to want to run if you want to be able to tank through almost anything in the game. There's going to be other more useful things, like, for example, if you're running an Apocalypse, this might have its points where you might actually die a couple times, in which case you might want to incorporate additional shield instead of one of your damage reduction based one. So if you want to take off your hardened coil, then you no longer need your restriction cord, and then you're taking off too much DR at that point probably, but it would still put you above 80%. So make up your own mind on this, what you guys think about this, but I think that this is an ideal tanky build, and with the amount of regen that I'm getting, it's kind of impossible to die. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Be sure to check out some of my other content, and let me know what build videos you guys might want me to make in the future. Thanks so much for watching. I did want to include one last thing. If you're not a fan of the armor effectiveness and reduced encumbrance, and you're not trying to run full Leto, and you want to just stop at the 80% DR, a really good option here is going to be the Difference Engine. When a shield's active, gain 20% damage, and 1.5% of base damage is lifesteal. So it does help you get a lot of additional lifesteal there to keep yourself alive, and it does keep your shield, like, if you keep your shields active, then you're going to be gaining damage. Or the Jester's Belt, increase mod and skill cast speed by 35%, and then casting those increases your damage over that time. Definitely a useful one for those mods or skills that take a longer time to cast.